Do you know that an individual's personality can actually predispose him or her towards the use of substance? And do you also know that substance use can actually alter an individual residual personality or can change the individual initial personality? Now, do you also know that there is a condition called obsessive-compulsive disorder, which is referred to as OCD? And do you know that there is a high relationship between substance use disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder? All right, if you want to know more about this, why not? Let's go into the discussion for the day. For those persons who are just connecting, we have been on a discussion on addiction and we have mentioned the various forms, the various types of addiction. Why not check other videos to actually get acquainted with all we have discussed? For this very video, we want to trace that very relationship, that very point where obsessive compulsive disorder and the different personality types are related with the use of substance. So first of all, in brief, we'll talk about what the different types of personality are. We'll talk about what personality means, and then we'll talk about what obsessive compulsive disorder is and then how it's linked. We're going to trace that in this very video. All right. All credit actually goes to all the original authors of some of the theories we are going to be stating. So it's in no way trying to take ownership of any of this theory, just for educational purpose. So, first of all, what is personality? Personality is actually the sum total of an individual's psychological, mental, and physical structure that makes him or her a unique person. That's just simply put what personality is. So that thing that makes you unique in your own way, that is your personality. Whatsoever differentiates you from other persons, that's your personality. And a couple of researchers have come together, both in prehistory times as well as in contemporary times, just to put together one or two ideas on this very subject of personality. Now, what are the different theories that were brought to the fore? The first one happens to be Carl Jung's, second, Kretschmer's theory, and then we have the hypocrite body fluid theory, we have the Williams Sheldon's temperamental theory. So I think those are the four major ones we are going to be touching on this very discussion. So first of all, let's start from the Carl Jung's socialization theory. His emphasis was on the social and the mental characteristics of an individual. He was trying to put that relationship between what are the social features of this individual and then what mental features or characteristics with this individual, with this social type would display. Those were the areas he was actually looking at. Hence, he classified humans into two broad classes, although there was a third one which was postulated much after he has actually passed on, which are actually the three classes include introverts, extroverts, and then the ambiverts. The ambiverts were the ones that were put together by contemporary researchers attributed to his work. So let's just take the first one, which is the introvert. So the introverts, these are persons that are withdrawn to self. They derive pleasure in their privacy. They derive pleasure in their close space. They derive pleasure alone. They don't want a crowded kind of friendship. They don't want much persons in their number. That's where they even make friends. All right? So they want to be on themselves. They are the thinkers. They are classified as thinkers. So they have a high mental strength. So they are very creative in nature. These introverted persons, they are seen to be lanky. They are also seen to actually be very reserved, They think so much before they take an act. And then another thing about the introvert is that they are shy in nature. All right. Having said that, what are the extroverts? The extroverts are person. This is a personality type according to Carl Jung's socialization theory that they are outgoing. They derive pleasure in making more friends. They're always on the go. Yes. So they are also persons that are classified as the doers. Remember, we call the introverts as the thinkers. So these persons, they don't have time like the introverts to think through. They actually carry out the action on the go. On the go. They're actually very active in nature. They are social. They are social. In fact, it will interest you to know that this set of persons, they don't have time keeping much grudges. That's why when people keep grudges with them, when people don't allow them to associate, they don't feel free. They don't feel free where you think or where they feel they are being bottled up. Yes, that is unique for the extrovert. You don't want to be bottled up. So that if you have seen someone like that, that is always social, he doesn't feel comfortable when he's restrained. In fact, from childhood, you see those set of children when you tell them, sit down here, they're always on the go. They are always trying to make friends with other persons, even when they may be hurt along the way. But their pleasure is found in friendship. And then, as I earlier said, they don't have time for much mental work. So they are always, what's there? What's to be done? What's this? And they execute. But there are certain persons that could not be compartmentalized due to the fact that they share some characteristics from the introvert and some characteristics from the extrovert. And these persons were called the ambivert. Now, they are more or less like the balance between the two classes we have mentioned earlier, which is the introvert and the extrovert. And beside that, I've come to believe that there's possibility for someone to start introverted and end extroverted, or start extroverted and end introverted, maybe because of life experience, exposures, environment, and so on. Or there is that possibility for someone to be extroverted in terms of his residual personality, but maybe the environment hasn't allowed. So the environment serves as trigger to push this individual. All of a sudden, the person you thought was extroverted is all extroverted. Okay? If you have understood that, then let's move to the second theory, which is the constitutional theory postulated by Christmas. Now, Ernest Christmas is actually a German psychologist, and his considerations were around the physical and mental characteristics, unlike the Carl Jones that consider the social and mental characteristics of this individual. So now, what he actually put for or can be put as body build, right, which is the physical aspect, and then what mental characteristics you could find with this body build, as well as the possible mental disorder that could come with this particular body type. You get? And then this particular uh, uh, physical characteristics of this person. All right. So first of all, let's look at those classes he actually compartmentalized the individuals into. So what the first one, which is the picnic build. These persons are plumpy. They are brief, or I would say short. They are brief in height. They are plumpy, loquacious. They are actually very very active kind of personalities. They are very active, always on the go, hyperactive in nature. So if you want to know the picnic build, start from looking. Is the person brief? Is the person hyperactive? Is the person um, having this roundish shape in nature? That already tells you it's actually the picnic build. All right. And then these persons, if you want to relate it to what Carl Jones said, they are actually the extroverts. Yes, they are the extroverts. Now, when I have the asthenic personalities, now these ones are the taller. They are the taller people. They are tall in uh, height, and then they are actually lanky in body shape or size. They're actually lanky. And then they have a prominent Adam's apple, especially for the male. They have a prominent Adam's apple. For the social aspect to look out for them, they are withdrawn. They think through, very meticulous in whatever they are doing. They think through, they don't just act because they need to act. Yes, they will take time to evaluate all their actions. They can think through a particular task before they actually carry it out. And then another thing about the aesthetic build individuals are that they are withdrawn to self. They like their privacy so much. They like their private and comfort zone so much. So already I know you would know where or another name for this set of persons. Yes, you would actually attribute them to what Carl Jung's socialization theory called the uh, introverted persons. Yes. So the next one, which is the athletic build. Now, this athletic build, they're actually sporty in nature. These are persons that carefully, they don't just act because others are acting. They act when it is necessary to act. They speak when it is necessary to speak. They are the balance. They are actually the balance. Yes, they are the balance between the picnic build and then the asthenic build. And then another thing to note about these athletic people, their musculature in nature. They will have that chest for so for some person will say they have six packs. Yes, that is what you should note out from them. They have the build. They are sporty in nature. And then, as I said earlier, for the social characteristics for them, they don't just talk anyhow. They are the people you will say they are the mature type. So they actually talk when it is necessary, act when it is necessary. So there is a clear-cut balance between the picnic build and the asthenic build. Yet again, there's actually class of persons that you can still not compartmentalize into picnic, asthenic, and the athletic build. This set of persons, Chris Meyer actually called them the dysplastic personality because they have the characteristics from, they will pick from the picnic, the asthenic, as well as the athletic build. So you can't just have a clear class to put them, are they really picnic? They might either be picnic in height, but the physical characteristics, they are not. Or they might be athletic in the physique, but the social characteristics, they are not. So this set of persons, they are called the dysplastic personality. Now, there is what he asserted to this each of these class of persons. All right. So Ernest Krismer actually asserted that people that have this picnic personality, they are the assertive people. They are the outgoing. Just like I said earlier, for the extroverts, they don't have time to be making much grudges or much enemies. They are actually the outgoing, very social type of persons. And then they try to, if you are not ready, move on to the next person straight. So they're that type, they're assertive in nature. They do not have time to be depressed at all, not at all. They know the balance. So if they don't meet up to their terms, off they go. And then where there is a mental disorder, they tend to come up with commonly a particular mental illness called mania. So if you know mania very well or you have heard about it, you will see the characteristics of mania in these persons. Okay? The hyperactive nature, grandiosity, feeling prideful, feeling witty, very hyperactive. So the picnic build tend to come down with this mental disorder or mental illness. Now, he now asserted that the asthenic personality, which is the withdrawn type, which is the people that love their privacy, He said this set of persons are reserved in nature. And because of this reserve, they are very careful and meticulous in whatsoever they are doing. They tend to come down with issues around depression. Yes. Or the obsessive uh, compulsive disorder. But let's not go there. Know that they come down with depression. All right. Anything around depression. Those are the possible mental illness they'll come down with. The next one has to do with the athletic build. Now, this set of persons, because they are the clear-cut balance between the hyperactive people and then the reserved people. So he said that this set of persons would come down with mental illness called schizophrenia. I haven't understood this. You may want to suspect that the dysplastic set of persons would come down with bipolar affective disorder. Anyway, I will not conclude for that. All right, that will take us to the next theory, which is the third one we are going to be considering, which was actually postulated by Sheldon, William Sheldon. William Sheldon temperamental personality theory actually focused on the physical and the temperamental aspect of this individual. When we talk about temperament, we're talking about the emotional dimension of this individual. All right. Now, William Sheldon was actually an American surgeon, and in his emphasis, he actually attributed or emphasized the relationship between the emotion of this individual to his physical structure. All right, and then he classified personality into three broad classes, which is the endomorphic, the ectomorphic, and then the mesomorphic. For the endomorphic personality type, these persons, just to save us much of the time, they are actually attributed to, for what we have learned from Krishna, he called them the asthenic personality, which is the persons that actually reserve, tall, lanky, and so on. Anything you find in them, um, Sheldon actually says that it is actually the endomorphic personality. And then the ectomorphic personality, which is the hyperactive people, he related them to what Krishna actually called the picnic personality, meaning that the endomorphic people, they are actually uh, hyperactive in nature. They're the social type. Yes. So the last one, which is the mesomorphic personality, he now has attributed them to the athletic personality. Having understood this, we'll go to the fourth theory, which is actually that of hypocrite body fluid personality theory. Now, for the hypocrite body fluid personality theory, hypocrite is actually a Greek philosopher and a physician. His basis of emotional or temperamental characteristics with each linked to the dominance of the four body fluid in human body. He linked the different emotional dimension of this individual to the four human body fluids. All right. Now he had the first one called the sanguine personality. The second one, the phlegmatic personality, the melancholic personality, and then the choleric personality, which is common for most persons. In fact, if you go into detail, there are other ones added to this. But just because we have a target of bringing forth the relationship between personality and substance use, so we will not go deeper into them. We'll just take them in a surface, all right? So the sanguine personality, this actually pertain to sanguine is pertaining to abundance of active blood circulation in the system. So this person are ruddy, complex, and then the attitude is full of vitality and confidence. These are the persons that are very active, the outgoing persons. They are optimistic towards life, and then they are very cheerful. Already you know what type of person, if you want to link it back, those are the extroverts. And they are actually, yeah, just like the extroverts, which were linked or yes, which were actually linked to be that where there is mental disorder, they tend to come down with a particular mental disorder called the uh, mania. So it's the same thing that is for this sanguine personality. Hippocrates says that this set of persons, if there is a mental breakdown, they'll come down with mental illness called the mania. All right. Now, the next one is the phlegmatic personality. Now, this one, the phlegm, which is the excess phlegm, is a thick stagnating fluid in the body system or in the human system. It is, he actually described this set of persons to be dull, sluggish, apathetic, and then very calm, but hardly excited. This set of persons are hardly excited. And now where these persons, they tend to display confidence, they are not assuming. They are not assuming at all. That's for them. Yes, that's for this set of persons. So the this set of persons are actually very confident, but they are not assuming. Now, not to make further ado, the third one is the melancholic personality. This set of persons, that word melancholy is two words combined together. The melas, which simply means black, then choli, meaning bile. Now, so that melancholy means black bile. And now, this set of persons, hypocrites say that they have excess black bile in their circulating their system. And now he ascribed these persons to display that personality type that is always prone to sadness, or the manifest sadness, slowness, and they are very pessimistic towards life. And then he said that if these persons too wants to come down with mental illness, they'll come down with conditions such as depression. Yes, the melancholy will come down with conditions such as depression. There is the last one, which he called the choleric personality type. Now, this the choleric actually link to a very hot temper. This implies person that have very hot temper. Now, it shows choleric shows that the person have excess of yellow bile in circulation. He ascribed this set of persons as being highly irritable. They flare up easily and they take things too serious. This set of persons, they take things too serious, too serious, too serious. So any small thing, they're already showing you their true self. They're showing their true self. So, having understood this, haven't said this, do you think that there's a relationship between the different personality types and substance use? Okay, so persons that are hyperactive, always on the go, imagine them finding themselves in a dull environment. Yes. So what do you think they will do? They want something that will give them that sensation, that will stimulate them, something that will give them that highness, that pleasure, that recreation they want. So, in fact, they involve themselves so much because of this into recreational or illicit drug use. There's that tendency for them to experiment substance just because they want more happiness, they want more of these highs. Okay? Now, for those set of persons that are actually introverted in nature, imagine there is a mental stress added to that. For instance, loss of loved one. For instance, loss of employment. For instance, loss of something they treasure so much. What do you expect of them? Substance use. Alright? Or depression. While trying to handle their depression, substance might be an option. So, having said this, we can now trace the link between the different personality type and the substance use. All right. Now, the next one is the aspect of obsessive-compulsive disorder, which is actually a condition where there is high impulsivity, and then there is also that ritualistic pattern of doing things. There's that preoccupation to carry out a particular action. Obsessive compulsive disorder is two different conditions that manifest themselves most times as one. The obsession, which is the irrational thought, the intrusive thought that is in that individual. That is the obsession. The compulsive side is that irresistible urge to carry out a particular action. Obsessive compulsive disorder is classified into three: the obsessive type, the compulsive type, and the mixed type. Now, that simply means that there is possibility for someone to have this obsession but would not express more of the compulsion. And there's possibility for this person to always engage, not necessarily because of sufficient obsession. And there is that possibility for it to be the both at the same time affecting this very individual. Now, this is the relationship where the individual is actually that type that experiment this substance. Note that substance use itself is an habit. It didn't start in one day. That's why we have the experimental phase, to the social phase, to the point where we call the crucial phase, and then to the chronic phase. So, habit is poor with prolonged use, is sustained with continuous use. You get? That continuous carrying out of the action. So it gets to a point where you are obsessed. That intrusive thought keep coming, keep hitting at you. So as it keep hitting at you, then this action must be carried out, which is the accompanied compulsion. So that is where the relationship lies. Most of these persons would have stopped, but they are taken back to the use of this substance either by the obsessive nature that is tied to substance use or the compulsive nature that flows along with the use of the substance. The obsession, remember, is the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, while the compulsion is the action dimension of it. All right? What would actually spur the action to be carried out in split seconds. Now, having said this, we can now agree with me that substance use disorder is or substance abuse or addiction has a link with the different personality types as well as obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, remember I said earlier that your personality type can lead you to the use of substance, as well as substance can also alter your personality. You will understand it better when we're going to be talking about personality as a topic, and then personality disorder, as well as obsessive compulsive disorder. So I believe that you have been able to learn something. Thank you so much for staying this long. God bless you. I look forward to that moment where this very channel will become your most favorite click and you always come back to check for updates. I still remain Coach Wisdom Akbar. Thank you and see you on my next video.